Hello, welcome back. This is Viper Squadron podcast, and I am your host, Scott. And with me, I have Darrin
Hello.
and Larry.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you guys for joining me. Um, so, sometime a little over a week ago, FFG put out that Wave 4 is going to be delayed. So
Okay.
it was supposed to be out like right now. But they delayed it and they said, because they even went back and changed all the articles on their on their website when they actually said the actual date that it was supposed to be, available to with your Wave 4, ships or something like that. And so then they had put in some of the forums that they were going to be delayed, and um, their way they were talking is probably going to be towards the end of the month. But the update was some people in Australia got their ships.
Really?
Some of the people that do like some of the unboxing videos and stuff got their ships. So, I mean, and even when you look at their page, when you're looking at the shipping and stuff of them, it only had two of them even on the boat. Two of the expansions. So the other ones were all still in development.
That makes sense.
True.
Yeah, makes sense. But some of them are already out there. But then you got those people that have the ships, and what we don't have is any points for it. They're not in the app. The closest thing they said, one of the guys said that did the unboxing was the closest thing we can do is play the quick builds.
Hey,
So
whatever works.
that's all they could do was play with quick builds.
Huh.
So it's just kind of funny that I don't know what happened with this wave, but it just went screwy worldwide. I don't get it, but who knows? We'll see what they're gonna be saying. I'm sure they're gonna come out with something next week, saying what happened and why there was a mix up or something.
I can see that happening.
Yeah. All right, and some of the other things that they put out was in their little live stream series that they do every week for the month of June. In let's see, June 25th, they're going to be doing a live broadcast with a host a question and answer session with the developers of X-Wing, focusing the upcoming summer squad point update. Not looking forward to that, Darrin?
No.
Yeah, I say we'll see how it plays out.
Well, it's getting to the point where you're getting all a lot of people are getting good with certain types of lists and stuff, and then here comes the points update, and maybe now you can't fly it because you're over the limit. You're
Exactly.
over points.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah, or a ship loses a slot, and there goes your main bomb or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, yes.
And I
Happened to
know
me with one ship so far for me.
what's that.
So that happened to me with one ship so far. So at this point, it's kind of like I said, we'll see how it plays out because most of my ship build, they try nerfing it anymore. It's not even going to be really a threat, possibly speaking. But yeah,
Is this about the defenders?
it's kind of a mixture of the defender and a little bit of the interceptor because those are the ones I like mess with the most.
Let's see. Did you see the card I sent out the other day? I was
Yeah.
playing around with making like alt art cards, and did you see it, Larry?
I don't think so. Right now, it's graded.
Oh, I got like a black colored Defender, and
Mm-hmm.
the pilot was Darth Vader. And I
Nah, that
gave him like extra attack and extra hull and stuff. Got his
yeah,
other pilot ability, but with their ship ability, it was pretty nasty.
Hmm.
that would
A
be
kind
very
of
bad.
what if scenario.
What's that?
So what if scenario? Because I think if you read the book of Thrawn,
Right,
I
the
think it's
Thrawn
still
Way.
him. Vader either got a chance to test out the TIE Defender or see it in action. And he's
No,
developed
he
a great
actually
respect for it.
he actually did fly it in the book.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was when they're on one of their little missions with Thrawn. So since the Defender was now the canon was that the Defender was the baby project of Thrawn. So,
Yep.
but I thought that was pretty funny. That'd be a nasty pilot upgrade.
He'd have to be
True.
100 points by himself.
Yeah, exactly. I'd still use him.
I'll give him a shot to see how he plays out.
That would be fun if we just made up some screwy cards like that for people. And like if you're gonna fly Empire, you're gonna fly with this card, and we make some screwy card up for one of our little tournaments.
That's
Like,
possible.
everyone's gonna fly this one for the Empire, this one for Scum, or each one for each faction, so everybody gets something.
Yeah.
That would be kind of funny.
Hmm.
All right, so they also did put out the timeline for the new
Events.
the World Championships when they do the Worlds. They said it's going to be the last chance qualifier and the Coruscant Invitational is on October 16th. Then day 1A is on October 17th, and day 1B is on the 18th. Day 2 is on the 19th, and yeah, I guess that's it, right? Yeah, on the 19th. So, but this year it's not going to be held at the at the headquarters because they're expecting it to be a little larger. So they've had it at the Royal Wilkins Auditorium at the St. Paul River Center in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Okay.
So it's funny because they changed this new edition, and they first have their first Worlds, and they've had to move it to
A
something
bigger
bigger.
locale.
Yeah, I wonder if that was planned to be like that, or
I don't know.
they didn't really think it was going to get as big as it did.
I think it's because as the fandom grew, they have to move to a bigger venue. Just like everything else that grows.
Because they put it out. I mean, if you would have done this with 1.0, the way it is right now, you probably wouldn't get as big of a group because there's a lot of top people that were just winning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's so many new now tournaments, different ways you can qualify for Worlds, that I think it kind of just blew up.
Yeah, it's probably very true.
I mean, it'd be pretty
Agreed.
interesting to find out how many people end up showing up because, like I was talking to you, Darrin, before, is some of the tournaments and stuff that have gone on lately. Like the Seattle System Open, there's 136 people there. And even the UK Nationals, they had 195 players. So it'd be interesting on how the World's here is going to be.
Oh, you're going to be probably 300 plus at least.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised if they're going to have that many. days. I mean, they're gonna have the day ones are split up, and then you have your day two, which could be your actual third day there. But
Damn.
so kind of.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to go to something like that.
I'd have to get better at that big of a group.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and it's really, to me, it would just be too noisy. I mean, it's like the Crate Cup, it was so noisy.
Yeah, because I even thought about bringing some of my noise canceling headsets.
Yeah.
I really should have, or even the ones I had for like when I go to the range, because they have a little microphone and stuff in it, and what it does is it drowns all the background noise out, so like I can be sitting there talking to you and I can hear you.
Yeah, it's got a range modifier on it.
Yeah, so that I should have worn something like that. I would have looked crazy, but
oh wow.
But, when we weren't playing, I'd be like having it down on my neck. All right, so now speaking of some of the tournaments, there was some tournaments that I had watched. I'm trying to pull up the tournament because it kind of moved on down the list. It did one. It was pretty good. The commentary and stuff and what they talked about was pretty good. It was the one in Sweden. I think it's funny. I was like, huh. Wonder if I'm going to understand any of these people. Because I don't know what language they would be speaking on the stream.
Swedish?
Yeah, I mean, you would think, but they're speaking English.
Well, yeah, they all those pretty much every European country, English is a second language.
Well, I know, but I figure if they're doing streaming of their events, I didn't expect them to be using English.
Yeah.
I guess
maybe they're taking into consideration that folks from outside of Sweden and whatever else is going to be watching it. So
that too. And predominantly, English is a well-known spoken language inside the European area.
Well, yeah, I do know that because it's a lot easier for us to go over there and they understand us than them coming over here.
Yeah.
Not knowing English and then we understand them. It's kind of jacked up that the world's that way, but
I kind of wonder if America was an English colony, British colony, and all the other British colonies have British accents or British sort of accents. How come we don't?
I think it's probably more of the fact that with all the melting pot of different countries, because we're not just people not just from England.
Not true.
So once it became a play, an actual country, we had people come that have been there from quite a bit of countries in that area.
Okay, but how did that melting pot get into our English accent or American accent, if you will?
Well, I mean, I just think over generations. I mean, it's gonna go out because you're gonna have the dialect for two different languages and trying to speak it and stuff. And then when it's taught to the next generation, I think that it just eventually kind of went away. Well, some Southern people still got some accents.
Well, that's a different accent altogether.
Can't say my wife there. That was one of the things I joked with her when I first met her. I just called her Peaches because she's, from Georgia. He hated it. But now we joke about it, thank God. Oh man, I can't even find the Sweden one anymore. But anyways, there was the final table had one guy playing with just quad phantoms with 3 of them with juke. And then the other one had Drea and a Y-wing, and then 3 Lock Revenants. 2 had ion cannon turrets. 1 had a dorsal turret. And they all had veteran tail gunner.
Damn. That's weird.
Yeah, and the Lock Revenants Andrea won.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that I was quite amazed as it went on because I watched that stream a couple times. But even the people that were there were surprised that they did so well against those Squad Phantoms.
Who's got the music playing?
You, Larry?
Yeah, I was listening. I'm just going to say it was a very interesting concoction mixture. But then again, you got to see how they were flying. If I can see how they were flying. Huh?
I mean, I watched it. I mean, it was a pretty good game. They both flew very well. Just the other guy got a lot. The one guy with the Lock Revenants got some pretty good hits on him.
And since you said they were flying pretty good, now you're making me wish I could see the video so I can actually get more of my insight. It feels like,
I'll shoot you the link.
Okay. But yeah, I would tell everybody it all depends because if you fly, I'm gonna use my favorite and tried true that's been annoying for a lot of people when they go up against me, the Defender. If you know how to operate the ship with its weakness, and you can focus on its weakness instead of its strong points will take care of its defense while you focus on making its weakness its strength. It sounds weird when I say it, but it's kind of like the Defender. The Defender's weakness is it is usually the biggest magnet for being picked up on as a target. That's one of its biggest flaws. So everyone wants to zero on and shoot on it. So if you carry 2 other ships around it, when someone starts shooting on it, the other ships are there to back it up. That's more firepower coming directly at the person that wants to take on the big giant ship. That's usually, aka, the hardest to kill. Usually.
You got something to say on that, Darrin?
Nope.
I just focus on the weak spots of my ships and try to figure out how to make them a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but most of the reason I don't play around with the Defenders anymore is just because of the cost.
And that's
expensive to have a real good competitive list. Not saying I ever fly something really good competitive, because I think I got going worst record this year. I honestly say that one, and it's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Larry, did you see the next standings?
No, but I know they're probably up by now.
Oh yeah, and you and I get to play.
Okay. So whenever you want to tomorrow or whenever, just let me know.
All right, I'll let you know later.
No problem.
Yeah, you got to see what we got scheduled for tomorrow and stuff. So, but anyways, but then here they had the System Open Series in Atlanta. Now, the day before, I saw some pictures online. Man, it was just an awesome layout. It was huge, and they had 173 people. But when they started to film, Gold Squadron was there broadcasting it live, and they had a lot of problems with their clocks, the timers and stuff, the big ones that they had set up for the tournament. So they were having a hard time getting all that stuff working out, so it kept delaying and stuff. Well, then they found out that they have this big, huge area at this hotel, and they're in like an atrium, so it's just big windows. Well, the sun started moving across the screen during that first game, so it kind of made it hard at times to see what the hell's going on. So, and then it was moved past it, and then you saw the shadow of the camera and stand and stuff until it passed. Oh, so funny. but it lasted the whole game long.
Damn. That would suck.
So now, so for there, they had the winner was Joel Killingsworth, and he had Quad Phantoms with 3 with Juke.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And then the runner-up was Daniel Taylor, and he had Wedge with Swarm Tactics, and then the servos, and then Braylon Strom in the B-Wing with Jamming Beam and Crack Shot, Ten Numb in a B-Wing with Jamming Beam, and then Cassian in the U-Wing with Leia and Tactical Officer.
This is an interesting combination.
It's a good list. I mean, the way he was flying and stuff, he was doing pretty good. Just those Quad Phantoms were just messing him up.
Yeah, I realized that because this is not the first, but it's the second one I seen someone flying Quad Phantoms. He's the first person, he was a runner-up, and they're both using Juke. And I know about Juke, and I don't like Juke so much as an opponent. Wonder why that person fared better than the other one. That's a very interesting thought. Wait, yeah, because he was runner up, and the other person in this area, he won. That is fascinating.
Indeed.
What you got to say there, Darrin?
Nothing.
So,
Nothing at all.
well, we have a guy in our own group that runs the Quad Phantoms.
Yeah, James.
Yeah, and does he flying like that with Juke?
I don't know. I haven't played against him with him.
I haven't either.
I'm not sure if he runs Juke on him or if it's just base pilots, just naked.
It's a possibility too.
But still, I mean, look how good he's doing with those.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, and now it's making other people like Chris trying to figure out how to build a list to counter him. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
And you know, since they're going to update the rules, they might get ready to nerf that ship and its ability. So we'll see what happens too.
Might up the point cost.
Yeah, they might just up those points. And then there's
That'll put an end to it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can't fit 3 of them in there because of it, then, you know.
3 in upgrades, maybe.
Yeah. I wonder, he was using, I guess that was the only way you can pull it off is you using 3 standard pilots that are Phantom runners.
Because I don't even know what the points is for that.
I don't even own 3 Phantoms, so I ain't saying nothing else.
No, I mean, you can pull it up in the app.
True. I was saying because I was thinking about if I wanted to build it myself. It's like, well, can't build it myself if I wanted to. Don't have any.
Trying to get him in here. Yeah, because even if you used, I mean, even if they just bumped it up so they couldn't even put a good 4 of them together.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty big point increase, isn't it?
Yeah, actually would. So I'm looking at it right now. Oh shit! But still, yeah, that would be, you know, just because they were running the Sigma Squadron one, and that's 46 points.
Yeah.
You know, that was like 180 something points. Just before you even put the juke on them, because then that's another 15 points for juke. So it's probably right there around, you know, 198 or something.
Hmm.
So I mean, it would make it hard to screw that one up. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, to some extent.
Darrin?
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. I mean, if you got to have juke, then I mean, you just add.
You had to use Sigma palette because I tried using the lower one and it didn't work out.
We could take 4 on the, but you can't take anything with them. The test pallets.
Yeah. So I mean, they'd have to bump up a bunch of points for those in order for it to really affect it. Because what, each one would have to be what, at least 51 points
Yeah.
in order for them not to be able to have 3. I mean, not to have 4.
Yeah.
But I don't know if just juke with it is. I mean, juke, it helps. Definitely helps, you know. But would you necessarily have to have it in order still to make it good?
Yeah.
Because even if they just up the points in juke, then they can no longer put it on there like that.
Yeah.
You know, they'd have to bump it down to 2. Have to and have the juke on them. But
Yeah, if they up the points. If they actually add, is that your music, Larry?
yeah, he's giving us that background mood music. I was just noticing it too.
If they bump those points up on a Sigma Squadron, even by 1 point, it would screw up that list. Then they could only take 2 with juke, and then they have a lot of points left over. Just depends on what they want to do with it, I guess.
Yeah.
But what do you think of some of the other lists, the Drea and the 3 Lock Revenants?
What does she do?
Oh, you're gonna make me have to pull this stuff up too.
I'm looking at it.
Okay. So Drea, she's got the while a friendly non-limited ship performs an attack, if the defender is in your firing arc, the attacker may re-roll 1 attack die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, they were just by
I mean,
themselves.
the lock's got a decent dial.
Yeah, and then there's no pilot ability because it's like the generic.
But
and
there was what, 2 of them with. They got one with a dorsal turret, and they said.
Yeah, and the other one, the ion turret or the ion cannon turret.
What else did they have? Or what did she have?
Who? Drea?
Yeah.
Nothing.
What else did they have?
It was just those 3. 2 of them, 2 with ion cannon turrets, 1 with dorsal turret, and then all 3 of them had veteran turret gunner.
Oh, veteran chick.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a nice little decent setup. That's how I look at it. Especially the ion cannon turret with the dorsal turret, giving it a little bit more of a wider range of shot ability.
Yeah, and
Especially the dorsal.
they flew them close to each other, so they kind of just, they kind of overlapped each other.
Smart tactic.
And when he hit that ion, it,
Oh yeah, that's my favorite.
they're phantoms, so they get ioned, and then everyone else shoots at them. So it's. So they're not going to be cloaking, so they're not doing
True.
a roll.
Yeah.
So it really that was what was really messing them up.
Yeah, I can see because once the ion hits, like you said, it disables a lot of your abilities. So that probably explains why that guy. I'm assuming Gisela. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it alone because yeah,
Yeah.
lost because of the fact of the ionization is probably what got that person. There we go. They got nailed because of ionization.
Yeah. And that squad was 199 points.
Ah,
I mean, it was just really good flying and a good tactic that the guy did with the lock revenants. So,
true.
so moving the turret and stuff, and keeping the other guys in arc, and then hitting them with ion cannons and stuff. That was just messing them all up. And
Yeah,
that's the thing with the quad phantoms. If they have to have that rhythm that they go together, or they have to do the cloaking and the barrel roll and stuff as much as they can. And if you limit them at the certain points, it can really kind of screw up everything, because you're going to want all of them to move off to one side, barrel roll before they move. But now this one can't, and it's like right in the middle.
yeah. So good formation flying is better needed than non-formation flying. So I see everyone's slowly picking up on my favorite style of flying as of late. Bunk flying separately, get close together, start doing more damage.
Yep. So let's see. What was I gonna? Oh, sorry, I'm a little. I lost my train of thought. All right, when I said something about the UK nationals. Now, the way those ones went, I'm trying to pull them up right now. The one who was number one, he was flying 2 Blue Squadron recruits, heroic and advanced optics. Tally with heroic crackshot, advanced optics. Greer Sanel, heroic and advanced optics. Then the Lulu Lumpur with heroic crackshot and advanced optics.
Slam.
So it's going to be a very interesting firefight.
Yeah, that just kind of amazed me, that putting all those together, and yeah, it worked. The number 2 person though had who's flying Republic. So had Luminara with R2 Astromech, and then the Delta 7B, then Sussatine, and R2 Astromech and Delta 7B, and then Mace Windu with Sense, R2 Astromech, and Delta 7B.
It's beefy.
What's that?
It's beefy. It's a lot to get through.
True.
And what do those R2 Astromechs do?
I think that makes your turns or banks. Shoot.
Let's see, card database. After you reveal your dial, you may spend 1 charge and gain 1 disarm to recover a shield. So they just flying around taking shields back.
Yeah, but you only get to do it twice.
Yeah, but what has he got already? 3 and 3?
With the 7B.
Yeah, isn't it 3 and 3 with the 7B? So in that sense, takes it up to 8 apiece. You know, if you can get that R2 astromech off twice. So
they've only got 1 shield.
True.
But with the 7B title, it gives it 2 more.
You're right. It doesn't update it on the list. You're right. Yeah.
So, I mean, that is a lot of shields and stuff they have to get through.
Yeah.
And these things can move around pretty good. I mean, I was playing Austin tonight, and he had Obi-Wan in one of those, and you know, you're just whipping it around the table. So we have 3 of them. It's like a swarm of bees. Just
pretty much. Yeah.
So let's see. Whoa. Let's go back up to the number 1 person. So, what do you think of this one? The Blue Squadron recruits and Tally, Grierson-El, and Lula Lepore. Anybody?
I'm just gonna say, I have to go look that group up right now. Squadron.
Well, you got anything there, Darrin?
What is it?
It's Incense 5 A-Wings. Resistance A-Wings.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, that's going to be a very interesting combination if you got a squad of A-Wings. I haven't seen anyone do that yet.
Yeah, and then they all have heroic on them. Yeah, every one of them have heroic. While you defend or perform an attack, if you have only blank results and have 2 or more results, you may re-roll any number of your dice. So if you blank out, you can, and you have 2 or more dice that you can re-roll. Is that what you're getting, Darrin?
Well, if you only have blank results and have 2 or more results, so you have to have at least 2 dice and get 2 blanks. Then you can re-roll any number.
You have to blank out when you're rolling 2 or more dice, and the A-Wings come with 2 attack dice, right?
2 or 3. 2.
I think
I'd say 3.
They're 2 each. Oh no, they're 2 attack and 3 defend.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, but these guys are a 2 turret only.
Yeah,
I didn't know
that. That's interesting.
Makes it a little more difficult, you think?
I think so.
Yeah, and the thing is it says, what's this? The refined gyro stabilers, you can rotate your turret indicator only to your front or back. After you perform an action, you may perform a red boost or red rotate action. Rotate your turret action. So they could perform their action and just stress themselves and do that. But then if you look at the dial for them, I mean, what all 2s all 2s are blue, 3s straight and banks, and 4 and 5 straight. I mean, they're gonna lose that right back, you know?
Hmm.
So that's just kind of nuts. Because you've already done your action, so it's not like you're losing your action or anything.
Yeah.
It's just making you take a blue maneuver the next round. But I mean, come on, that's easy to pick from.
True.
So that's probably why that was effective. Man. Okay, so what does Tally do? It says while an enemy ship in your bullseye performs an attack, you may spend 1 charge. If you do, the defender rolls 1 additional die. Oh. Oh, so they don't have to be. They don't have to be. So it's like if another ship is getting fired at, but that ship is in your bullseye. You know, your friendly ship gets 1 more dice.
Well, now, how does that work? Because they only have turrets.
Right. It says in your bullseye.
Hmm.
Every ship has a bullseye arc.
Yeah, but what are we looking at?
We're working about Tally,
Oh.
her pilot ability.
Tally's pilot ability.
So, and she's got that recurring 1 charge. So that gives at least 1 person per round an additional dice to roll on defense if they're in her bullseye.
That's interesting.
And she had what? Advanced optics. And then what else? And then crack shot. Crack shot. Primary attack. Defender is in. Yeah. And at one time they moved it towards the front, and then you're shooting them. So she could. So when she's doing that, when she has that pilot ability where she can let the defender, if an enemy ship is in her bullseye, so even if they're firing at her, she can still use it. Correct? Because it says anytime an enemy ship is in her bullseye, is attacking, the defender rolls 1 additional die.
Yeah, that's true.
So it could go for any other ship or itself or herself. And she could do that once per round. She just keeps somebody in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
the game of keeping something in your shooting path works as long as it doesn't backfire.
Yeah. Then the next one is the Grierson. His pilot ability. After you fully execute a maneuver, you may rotate your turret. After you fully execute a maneuver, you may rotate your turret. This is, well then, the other gyro stabilizers with that too. So as long as you fully execute a maneuver, you can rotate it, so you don't even have to use your gyro stabilizers.
Yeah.
So
Well, his ability is not an action either.
Okay, so you're saying that he can do that, he can rotate it, but then
and then he can do his boost, or then he could take his evade or something and then take a boost.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it more using just for the red boost, and that's it.
Okay.
Or barrel roll either way. Oh no, boost, yeah.
I mean, because if you've already rotated your turret, then why go do a red one to turn it back somewhere else?
No, you're right.
You know, you
Yeah.
already know. You know, when you first moved your guy, you already knew where your defender, your enemies are going to be, so you would have turned your turret to that side. So there would be no need to use the other part, but you would just use it just for the red boost. It's just like a second action. All
Crazy.
right, yeah, and he had heroic and heroic. Man, he gets too much Jack tonight. Yeah, and advanced optics. So the last one was Lululapur. So while you defend or perform a primary attack, if you are stressed, you may roll one fewer defense die or one additional attack die.
Okay.
So you can intentionally take the red boost or the red rotate to just get an additional attack die.
Yeah.
If you know you're not going to get shot at.
That's the key point.
You know those times where the enemy's just in front of you and there's not a chance at that round they're going to get behind you.
I've only seen that in a few rare occasions of my flying, but when it does happen, so beautiful.
But then if you get in range one,
so I never get those that often.
It's a 4 dice attack. And then they also had the heroic, yeah, heroic. That one, and crack shot and advanced optics. Kind of one of those things that are kind of just. Sometimes you wonder what some of these people do to sit there and. They're like all these Chris Mitchells. Just dreaming of lists to try and see if it'll work.
Yeah, or they did what I was thinking of doing one of these days. I'm gonna investigate in an actual map, and then what I would like to do is I would like to run what if scenarios, and just play both sides of factions I want to have fight against each other, see how they fare against each other. That's one way to improve, but I don't know if it would how he did it.
Like a newer version of you playing chess by yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it could work. I guinea pig with my kids sometimes. I just have to go and think of things. I said, just think outside the box. Just go any which way. I just want to see how I can react to your shit.
Exactly.
So, yeah. But one of the things I was looking through, it's a pretty decent mix of the factions. I mean, still not as many, the Republic and Separatists and First Order and Resistance as there are, Empire and Rebel and in Scum. I think one is probably the availability of ships.
Yeah, it could be.
Each one has so many. I mean, look how many, and these tournaments are extended versions, so everything's legal.
Right.
So, you got the Rebel side who's got like 20 ships, and then you got the First Order who's got 4.
Yeah.
And then you have Separatists who have 4.
You got the Republic that has 3.
The Republic has 3. Mm-hmm. The Interceptor, the Torrent, the Ark. Yeah, I guess that's 3. It, huh? Yeah. Wow. I thought there was something else, but no, not yet. Mm-mm. No, we have the Y-Wing coming, and the Naboo starfighter, but
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
But then you got the separatists, got the vulture droids, the Darth Maul's ship, Grievous's ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. So they only got the 3.
4,
4.
I think.
Vulture droids, Darth Maul's, Grievous's.
Yeah. What was what I've been always wondering how they're gonna make.
I know you're right, 3.
I was gonna say one of the things I've been always wondering is how they're gonna increase these other factions that they have now, like First Order. I'm wondering what kind of ships are they gonna imagine to come up with, or are they just waiting for when Lucasfilm and Disney decide to come with another movie that's evolving around the era of the First Order?
We'll see. That's the thing. I was just talking with Michelle about it earlier because, some of the things on the pilots and First Order I really like. I just wish they had more ships. Oh, I even said something to Chris about it at the store today. But you get 4 ships, and this next wave coming out, you get the Silencer and this TIE SF, and I mean, they're already ships we had.
True.
So but then the Resistance gets a whole new ship. So that takes them up to 5 ships, or a possible 6.
Yeah.
Because I know well, apparently, when I said that some of the other places got the ships,
Yeah.
there one guy had put in there or had done unboxing videos for each one. So the Republic transport, he comes in, he said it comes with 1 base.
Oh.
So you either are playing with the whole thing or just the pod. Per ship you have to buy, because you'd have to buy 2 of them in order to play a pod and a transport.
Well, I mean, it's small bases, right?
Well, yeah.
So
I know you can just use
already...
other ones, but I don't think that they can. I don't know. That's kind of crazy though. But why would it only come with 1?
That's a good question.
That's a good, fascinating question.
It's a good question for the Q&A.
Well, no, I mean, first of all, you can't run the transport without the pod.
True.
I mean, if you think about it that way. So you'd have to buy 2 if you wanted to run a whole transport and a pod.
That's a good marketing idea too.
You understand that? See, it's different than the Falcon and the Escape Craft, because you could run the Falcon without the Escape Craft, or you can just run the Escape Craft, or you can run them both.
Right.
But you can't run a transport without its pod. That's why I'm saying you have to buy a second one in order if you wanted to do the 2 together.
I don't understand why, though.
Well, that's why one of the gaffes they made so they're fixed.
Because in that ship, the pod is the cockpit.
Okay.
The rest of it is just, where it's people transport and a gunner on the end.
Okay.
So that can come off. The pod can come off and still be a little ship, but this has no pilot left. Nowhere for a pilot. There is no second, pilot's chair.
Okay.
It's like when you have a semi and you just take the trailer off.
I understand that. I'm saying why do you need 2 of them to play them?
I'm just saying, if you wanted to play a pod and a transport.
So you can run the pod separately?
Yeah, so you can run the pod with just like one of his pilots, like BB-8, who actually is a pilot in this pack coming up.
Okay.
But he'll only be a pilot for the pod. But then someone else is the pilot for the transport.
Fascinating.
We'll probably have to wait to see and see if.
But if you wanted to run this other pilot for the transport, and then BB-8 in a pod, that's what I'm saying. You just have to purchase 2, because it's not like the Falcon where those 2 come together and they can be flown independently.
I think we'll have to wait to see and open the box and see what happens. See
I
what they
agree,
actually have in it.
You just
Because
don't
this is
understand what I'm talking about.
I don't see why they would do that.
I
mean,
agree with Darren, but I'm gonna wait until they actually really release it, because this first release is probably part of the reason why they stopped and halted it for the time being.
Could be. In part.
Well, no, I don't think that had anything to do with that, but because they wouldn't have let any of the stores sell them.
Well, it could have been a mistake, and then kind of like doing a recall.
Right, but if
Yeah.
they found out the mistake was 2 weeks ago when they changed the delivery date, they would have recalled all those from the sellers before the release date.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but
I'm gonna have to go because I've got this really massive headache.
well, I was thinking about wrapping it up here because I was just about out of the things I wanted to talk about.
Okay, that's cool.
So, and I'm sure this next week, because of what has already come up and come out, that we're gonna get some more snippets and stuff, and I'm gonna play around, trying to watch videos and do some screen captures and stuff for us.
Okay.
So you guys can see what all the new stuff is that are coming. So,
Okay.
but if not, we'll talk about some of the stuff next week if we don't get anything more, or I'm sure sometime soon we're gonna get something, because there's no preview or preview article out for that transport.
Right.
So that would probably answer a lot of your questions.
I think so too.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get something next week, and we'll have something to talk about for that, or we can just talk about some more of the other tournaments, because I know there's more coming up. Like today, there's something going on already tonight. So that's going through the weekend. So we can talk about some of that stuff too.
Cool.
So, okay. Well, thank you, Darren. Thank you, Larry, for joining me. And if you're
No
still
problem.
watching, make sure you guys, if you like what you've seen, make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, make sure you click that little the little bell so you can get notified when we go on live. And then also check out our Facebook page. It's Viper Squadron. Just search it for it up at the top and go for it. You'll see our logo. Go ahead and like the page so we can get those numbers up too. And then there's some more links you guys can check out below in the comments or in show notes. So until next week, I guess I will see you guys later. This is Viper Squadron.
Yeah, have a good one.
Peace. Better.